Hello, my name is Trydar. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build a Roman Horaeum in Minecraft. Let's get started. Now I know what you're thinking, Trydar. What is a Horaeum? Well, that is the Latin word for granary. Horea being the plural of that. So here's a quarter of it, so we can take a good look at it. Of course, being a granary, we do have to have some grain in it. Unfortunately, in Minecraft, we do have some grain blocks. Although I think this is probably the most inefficient way to actually store your grain in Minecraft, but it does look visually satisfying, which is of course why we're building at all. Let's take a look at the complete one though. So over here we can see we do have some narrow windows. We do want to have some ventilation in our granary. And of course we have two doors on either end to allow for easy access to get into the structure. Now let's take a look inside though. So if we go inside here, through our doors we can see we have a nice large and generous rack to store our grain on. So if we walk down through here, I think the amount of grain we can probably store in here is maybe a couple of stacks, which would all easily fit in, in just a single chest. But, as I said, we're doing this for visual effect. Normally, I would present the building as an empty building and let you fill it in, but I thought for this one, we really had to have some interior decoration, so I've added these wooden racks here to store our grain blocks on. And if you want to as well, you can, of course, place down some additional chests here and there, where the red is here, to store some additional things in here. Or you can clear out the grain entirely and use this as some sort of industrial building that you want to for something else. Because this could also be considered a Roman warehouse. Because the Horea weren't just used to store grain only, they could be used to store other things like wine and olive oil and various things. But those would be stored in, of course, amphora, which we don't have an amphora block, sadly. So we can't use those yet. So you've seen the materials list and everything. So let's start with the dimensions for the foundation. So it's 23 by 49. Starting with this corner down here, we want to count down 49 blocks of cobbled deep slate, 2 blocks wide all the way to the other end, and then 23 blocks across here. And since I've shown you over here, this is, of course, symmetrical around the center line, both the long way and the short way going down the middle there. So as we go, you need to build just really a quarter of the building through the tutorial here, and the rest of it is just 3/4 of the same design. All right, so if we draw our center line, just straight down the middle here, we can see that we want to have a block and then 5 cobblestone slabs here. And behind that, you can see we have this pattern here of cobblestone for the foundations of the building itself. And for the floor inside the building, we have a combination of cobbled deep slate and tuff, just like here. So it's a simple checkerboard pattern. Just like so. Let me show you the entire thing from the top down here. And once you've got the foundation and everything in place, we can go on to the next phase here. I think this building would also be a good building if you want to add something to your Roman docks. To the previous tutorial I did on the Roman docks, if you want to expand it into a more sort of a Roman wharf or something. You could add a couple of these buildings around the sides as well, because that's what they were used for. In Ostia, the Roman port, there were a whole lot of these buildings in particular because of all the grain that was coming from Egypt. Because the Romans would actually hand out free grain. That's where the grain and the bread and circuses meme would come from. So let's go to the next phase here. Let's start in the middle. We've got a 3x3 block of tuff. And then over here we've got the doors, the lowermost portions of the doors, and of course the wood tree trunks here in the middle. And then on the side here where all of the cobblestone was, and for the foundations we have the tuff here for the lowermost levels. skipping 2 blocks here, and then 2 by 2, and then skip 5, and just on again, with the same modular pattern going all the way down the building. Let me show you this from the top down. Might make better sense. We can also see down here we've got the lowest most portions of the grain storage racks, our shelving right here. I just opted for some simple decoration in here. It's just a simple industrial building, so we don't have to get too decorative with it. Not a high status structure. So over here for the next phase, of course, we've got 3 by 3 stone bricks there. The rest of your oak doors here. You can use another type of door if you prefer, whatever matches the wood that you used for the structure. And then on the side here, we've got the stone bricks again. A bit of diorite here, 3 blocks for the lowest most portions of the windows down here at the bottom. That's where we're at now. Right here, same design all the way to the back, and of course everything at the back is just a mirror image of everything that we did at the front. And of course we just have the simple grain storage rack, so we can place down our blocks of grain here. Just like so, the hay bales. But you never thought we'd have a use for the hay block in Minecraft, but here we are. Using it for decoration for our granary. Now some granaries would actually have another step we could add underneath the floor, back down here. Some of them would, in order to cut down moisture, depending on the climate, they would add, it wasn't a heated hypocaust, but it was very much like one underneath the floor. But I have opted to skip over that for this particular tutorial, but I do want to mention some, not all grain buildings would have that, but some of them did. So the next phase here, we want to have 3 by 3 cobble there in the middle. A bit more wood over here for the door. And then everything else for the walls is just cobble stacked straight up on top. And we've got an oak fence there and some diorite framing for our windows. Just like so, all the way back to the back here. All right, next level up here, we've got stone bricks again. As you can see here, we're going to be alternating between stone bricks and cobblestone for the most part. Sometimes we'll have a bit more tuff, but for the most part, I alternate between stone bricks and cobble. It's an easy way to give a slight difference in materials and detailing for the structure without doing just a full-on gradient. We can have just, the budget version of a gradient with that. I think that makes the buildings look a bit more clean as well. And it's less trouble for you to build. All right, we've got the first shelves for our grain storage racks here. Some half slabs and some tree trunks on their side. Once you do one of these, all the other ones are just copied and pasted versions of that one, so. Next phase here, back to cobblestone, and then wood here for the doors. And the cobblestone for the walls and the windows and everything, just going straight up according to the same pattern that we did before, all the way back down the building. And more grain here for our storage racks. I think if it was an actual granary, we would want to have these in sacks or terracotta amphora or something like that, because we do want to keep the rats out of it. All right, here we've got some detailing with some upside down stone stairs here. It's like so, and of course we've got some detailing for the door back here with the upside down wood stairs. All right, here for the exterior buttresses, we have just a couple of stairs here because they're going to be cutting in. We're a little too far away from that, but if you remember from when we started, they cut in a little bit on the sides. Because these grain buildings were one of the more sturdy built structures inside, like a typical Roman fort or someplace like that. Because they're a big empty box on the inside, they did need the extra reinforcement for the walls and everything. This is something more commonly you would find later on medieval structures, medieval ecclesiastical structures and castles. They had a lot of exterior buttresses like these, but of course, that was a thing that originally came from the Romans. So here we got a bit of diorite for the arches over the doors, and then just straight tree trunks across there. And then we have our buttresses tapering in here, back down to 1 block. And of course, what buttresses do, you can see here, it just makes the wall thicker in various places as structural reinforcement. Sometimes buttresses can just be flat on the walls, sometimes they can be diagonal on corners, it just really depends. And another shelf here, you can see we've now done a couple of layers of these, so you can see the modular design we have for the storage racks. And you can modify these with different detailing if you want to. You don't have to only have to store grain in these. You could store various other blocks in here as well, if you want to, just to make something look visually interesting, depending on your use for the structure. It's a very good multi-purpose type of building. All right, so here for the next phase, bit of diorite and stairs, wood stairs for the door. And then stone bricks and everything else here. Diorite here over the windows to cap those off. And we'll go on to the next phase here. So we got a bit of tuff now. And a bit of diorite and wood stairs here. And up here we've got the tuff. It's pretty much just a straight layer of tuff just going right across here. The walls for this structure are really simple. I don't think you're going to have any difficulty with those. So I'm not spending just too much time looking at them. Here for the next phase, of course, we just got straight stone bricks and diorite here to cap off our round Roman arches. Well, you know, Minecraft. This is as round of Roman arches as we can get at this particular scale. You have to use some imagination, but you know you can see the suggestion that it's supposed to be an arch. Here for the windows, we have the upper clerestory windows. Right here with a bit of diorite. We're just going to have a simple, it's almost out of range. You can see we've got the square windows there at the top. And top rows of windows like this are generally called clerestory windows. Like that. And another shelf up here for our grain storage racks. All right, next phase, easy phase, straight cobblestone, 3 by however many long that is on top of that, and then just straight across here, detailing for the window with the diorite and the oak fences. That'll be our last oak fence, I think, though. And the interior storage racks. We're almost done building the racks. So next level after that, just straight stone bricks on top of the cobble. And then the last bit of stone brick stairs and diorite here to finish off the detailing for the buttresses and the clerestory windows. All right, next phase here, really easy phase. It's just a straight rectangle of tuff, just right on top of the whole building. I think I can best show you that from the top down here. And to finish off our grain storage racks, we of course have just a couple of half slabs on top of the tree trunks and everything. Right there. So that's going to finish off your grain storage racks and everything. And if you want to, you could add more detailing on the side here of these racks, perhaps adding some ladders to climb up and down to get to those. Next phase, really easy phase. On top of all that tuff, you want to have a big rectangle of diorite, just like so. And then we want to come around and add the stone brick upside down stairs to serve as corbels to hold up the roof beams for our ceiling. And they're all going to be spaced 3 blocks apart, just like so. So you can see all the way to the back, they're just spaced exactly 3 blocks apart from each other. Just like that there. Next phase, add a rectangle of cobblestone on top of the diorite, just like we did. And for the exterior, we want to come around and add, to finish off our cornice here, of the upside down stone brick stairs in a big rectangle all the way around the exterior of the building. Just like so. On the interior, you can see that we want to have the tree trunks laid out on their sides for the beams here. These should rest on top of the corbels. We just laid down, and all of the oak here, of course, these are the half slabs that we have to form our coffered ceiling that we have here inside of the granary. All right, next level, we're putting on the roof now. So here we want to have, on top of our cornice here, we want to come out a block and have a straight run of cobblestone. We want to have this block hanging out here, though, for the raking cornice. And here we want to have a half slab and then full blocks of cobblestone, and then just cobblestone half slabs and diorite behind that for the tympanum. Same detailing on both sides. If you've done any of my previous Roman buildings, you already know how to do this particular detail to build out the pediment. It's the same sort of thing on the side here. Of course, we have the red nether bricks for the, it's going to be what, 7 blocks? Yeah. Panels of 7 blocks there for the red nether bricks for the lowest most portions of our roof tiles. And we can see stretching behind that, I have added a little detail up here for some oak trusses to support the roof. All right, let's take a look here again. We can see we're just following this this here with the full blocks and then double stacked half slabs behind those, and then use your cobblestone behind that to outline the detailing for the triangular section of the pediment. That being the tympanum here with the diorite. And here's the detailing for the roof tiles. We can of course see we're using the red nether brick and the deep slate tiles here for the roofing. I always use this on my Roman buildings. Makes a nice pleasing roof pattern. Not too hard to do. And at various stages we break this up with some ridge lines here of cobblestone, just straight down the middle there to divide our roof up and make it more visually interesting. Behind that, you can see here for the roof trusses, we're just doing some simple straight blocks of oak, full oak blocks here. I could have gotten a little bit more detailed with some slabs, but you know, we're just going to be sealing this off. Nobody's going to see it, so I didn't put in the extra detailing on that. We saved that for the visible portions of the building. So here we are. You can see we just have this repeating pattern just going straight up on the diagonal here. I think just this is what? Not 18 degrees. It's 20 something. Well, anyway. And of course the detailing for the roof tiles is just another repeating pattern. Once you do one module of these, all the other modules are exactly the same. Going all the way down the building along both sides, right there. And of course we could just see the simple detailing. We just have the oak blocks cutting in and going up, just like so. All right, next phase here, same thing. Just straight up with the diorite for the tympanum and the detailing for the pediment cornice and everything, just going at its diagonal there. Same detailing along the side here for the roof tiles. And then same deal in here again for our simple trusses. All right, next phase here, you know the drill. Repeating patterns, they're just extending up and pushing in a little bit so we can make our roof come to its apex. On the interior here, we finished our roof trusses, meeting up here in the middle, just like so. All right, next phase, we, of course, just keep extending up the roof tiles. Same pattern, just a little bit higher up, pushing them farther in, and we have now running straight down the building, we have a ridge line of cobblestone. It just goes straight all the way back down the building to the other end, and of course the pediment on the other end should look exactly the same as the one on the front. You can see here how your repeating pattern just came up and met in the middle very naturally. Not too much thought involved in that. And the very last phase, we just have a couple of slabs here at the front, and then just these cobblestone half slabs here, going straight down the building to cap off the ridge line. No decorative acrotarian on this type of building. It's just a warehouse after all. And once we have done that, your Roman Horaeum, that is, your Roman Granary, will be complete. So I hope you have enjoyed the tutorial for the Roman Granary. Remember, the entire world is available in the video description for both Java and Bedrock versions. And I would like to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.